Hello everyone, welcome back to Killer Shrew Fans, Killer Toy Reviews, and Happy New Year to you all. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday season and that you're ready for everything 2023 has to offer. But I still have some unfinished business to take care of on the channel before I fully close the book on 2022. That's right, it's that time of year where I share with you all of my favorite dinosaur-related releases from the past year. Like 2021, I'll be breaking this up into 3 separate lists, including my top 5 favorite Mattel releases, top 5 pop culture-inspired releases, and top 10 scientifically accurate releases of the year, because let's be honest, comparing some of these would be like comparing apples to oranges. We're going to start by looking at Mattel, and boy, of all the years they have had the Jurassic license, this sure was one of them, wasn't it? Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of cool new stuff that came out this year. I mean, we got the Hammond Collection. That was pretty sick, right? But when it came to the main line, I felt almost everything was in one of 2 camps. If it was an original sculpt, it was often cartoony or even downright ugly. On the other hand, if we got a decent movie-inspired sculpt, there was next to no paint on it whatsoever. And sometimes, we got both. And with this being a film tie-in toy line, and one that they actually ended up having extra time to work on and refine, yeah, the Dominion line as a whole felt like a bit of a dud. Not Hasbro levels of bad. No, we're not there yet, thank God. But in comparison to what we've seen Mattel do in the past, it was a lackluster year. Luckily, there were still some diamonds in the rough, so today is all about giving credit where credit is due. Same rules as always apply. I have to own the figure in order for it to be considered for the list. Sorry, HC Concavinator. You're a cool looking one, and someday I hope to call you mine, but not today. And no early releases from 2023's Dino Trackers line will be eligible. Just know if I were a bit more lenient in this regard, that Chronosaurus would have been a shoo-in. At least for an honorable mention. I mean, look at that thing, it's gorgeous. But with those 2 little caveats out of the way, we're going to kick things off with some honorable mentions. First up, we have the Hammond Collection Dilophosaurus. Great figure, decent accessories with the replaceable neck pieces. Not quite the home run that the Amber Collection figure turned out to be, but still the easy winner for this particular price bracket for the year. Next honorable mention goes to the Hammond Collection Baryonyx. This was actually one of the first reveals we got from this new line, and boy, did it set a curve. The posability, balance, and extra paint were everything I had been wanting to see from Mattel. And at a mere $5 more than the lackluster Roar Striker sculpts we were getting up to now, it was a very welcome turn of events. I'll also give a quick nod to the Enosaurus and Lystrosaurus figures from the main line. The Enosaurus was an actual decent original sculpt on Mattel's part. Could have used a little more paint, but you know. And the Lystrosaurus, well, of course the best part of Dominion is gonna get a nod here. But getting into the top 5, we're going to kick things off with a bit of an unsung hero from the Legacy Collection. I can't help but feel like the Legacy Collection got shafted this year. It felt like it either took a back seat to the Hammond Collection or languished under unrelated releases. That said, there were still some strong additions in the form of playsets that finally gave us vehicles and beloved human characters in figure form, i.e. Roland and Lex, but the best dinosaur to come from the line this year was easily the infant Stegosaurus from the Sarah Harding Stegosaurus playset. I feel like this little guy perfectly captured the look of the original animatronic by Stan Winston, which is awesome enough in and of itself, but the fact that it came with a Sarah Harding figure made it even more noteworthy. The only drawback I can see to this figure is the fact that you had to buy it with a rather lackluster adult Stegosaurus repaint. That bloated the price tag from the $15 it would have cost for a human and dinosaur of this size to a whopping $40. The upshot of that, though, is that we did get it in this awesome capture vehicle style packaging. Definitely hoping to see more of this or anything Lost World related in the new year. Coming in at number 4, we have the recently reviewed Dreadnoughtus. This absolutely enormous figure carried the mantle of Mattel's large sauropod lineup, while improving upon the formula with additional points of articulation and better overall proportions. Pair that with great sculptural details and a serviceable paint job, and you have one seriously cool toy that's easily my favorite of Mattel's sauropods to date. The only drawback here is that it's based on the derpy Dreadnoughtus design, but you can't really fault Mattel for making an accurate representation of an underwhelming design. The number 3 spot goes to the Hammond Collection Ceratosaurus. This is easily the best HC release in this particular price bracket that I've gotten so far. And I think a strong case could be made for it being the best all-around release from the line, period. The sculpt work is as fantastic as ever. The paint job and patterning are amazing. And as always, I love playing with all the different points of articulation on this thing. Perhaps most importantly, there aren't any overblown proportions on this figure or any anatomical quirks to speak of, at least none that I've noticed. I'm someone who actually quite liked all of the Ceratosaurus sculpts Mattel has done, but this thing just takes the cake in every department and shows how cool proper Jurassic toys can be. And the runner-up of the year goes to the sound-slashing Therizinosaurus. Speaking of toys, this is hands down the best thing to come out of the mainline this year. The sculpt is strong, there's a decent amount of color on it, and the play features are great. But what really puts this one over the edge, in my opinion, is the added posability you get with the arms. Obviously, it's not as involved as the articulation on the Hammond Collection, but it's cool to have this level of articulation on a large, mainline electronic figure nonetheless. And the number 1 Mattel release of 2022, hands down, the Hammond Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex. This thing is just next level Mattel. The sculpt, great. The paint job, actually finished. The articulation, insane. The size, amazing. Mattel has released so many Rexes since they got the license, but they're basically all irrelevant in the face of something this awesome. I can't say it's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. The feet are way too big. The glass eye gimmick didn't really take, and now we just have these sort of milky, dead yellow beads, and the joints aren't all strong enough to handle the weight. Still, a toy of this caliber is definitely a step in the right direction and is something we've waited years for. It's easily one of the best things Mattel has ever done with the line, and for that reason, it's worth celebrating as the best Jurassic toy of the year. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my top 5 releases from Mattel for the year of 2022. Of course, you could probably shuffle this list any which way you'd like, and I wouldn't disagree. These are all great offerings from Mattel, not just for this year, but I'd go so far as to say that these ones could easily hang with the best from each year prior. I will say I'm looking forward to what they have in store for 2023. If early indications are anything to go by, it looks like it's going to be another fun lineup. And let's not forget, we have the 30th anniversary of Jurassic to look forward to in June. Here's hoping Mattel pulls out all the stops for that celebration. But as always, don't forget to let me know what your favorite releases were from Mattel for the year of 2022. Did you agree with my picks, or do you think there was something I missed, slept on, or forgot entirely? Let me know your number 1 choice of the year, or top 5, or top 10. If you wanted to share both your favorite mainline figures and Hammond Collection offerings, whatever you want to do, leave your lineup in the comments down below, and as always, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again real soon for my top 5 pop culture release countdown. Until then, take care out there, and bye-bye.